Tim, really excited to be here. Appreciate you guys having us. This topic, I think, is top of mind for all of our customers. Also, for those of us working with the product at IBI. Tim, I just have to say, I think you look incredibly sharp. This
Oh,
black t-shirt with
look at
the
this.
jacket, a really good look. Okay, Dax and Anita, you look fabulous as well. Yeah, I've got
Where
some slides on market research and where we're at with the product. And Anita's got an incredible demo. Dax is, like real world experience. This is going to be a phenomenal session, I assure you. Let's get at it. The topic is an important one. It's one that, a lot of our customers are talking to us about moving their deployments to the cloud. They're looking at, kind of leveraging these high performance data stores in the cloud, like Snowflake and Databricks. They've got like these different deployments, private clouds, hybrid cloud, multi-cloud. The data's everywhere. We're using some of the Azure Fabric services. We're doing AWS. Where does IBI fit in? How can we best leverage the IBI capabilities? That's what we're here to talk to you about today. Um, my background really for a long time was with Web Focus. And over the years, I started working more with the mainframe solutions and the data integration solutions as well. And really, for today, this is much more of a data integration and data engineering and a cloud story than a web focus story. But we'll tie in like how this is relevant to web focus. But really, what we're here to talk about is our data integration and data engineering capabilities that can help you modernize your cloud data services. What are those anyway? Well, first and foremost, we're definitely talking about Data Migrator, which is our ETL/ELT solution, right? Transforming and moving data. And so data engineering is kind of a subset of a bigger data integration story, but it's an important one as we talk about modernizing your cloud data services. So what is our solution there anyway? It's more than just data migrator, right? Which is like that extract, transform, and load type of solution. Um, a lot of analysts for a long time have recognized us for having what is called support for complex data. And that goes beyond data migrator. That extends to the number and quality of adapters that we have, whether we're talking about the mainframe, 25, native data adapters on the mainframe, but more so in like a, kind of like distributed or cloud environment. People are probably thinking about Oracle and SQL Server and files and APIs and then, cloud-based sources as well. And so a strength of IBI's is having all of these adapters that can connect to all of this data and then the quality of the adapter. Many time it is native, meaning it is more than just a standard JDBC or ODBC. It would leverage things that the databases do well. So it starts with the adapters. And then through the adapters, we've got the metadata layer that allows us to do a lot of things, allows us to navigate things like fan traps or multi-fact star schemas, or join data across different, kind of platforms or sources, do transformations, create business views, a lot of strong capabilities there matched up with data migrator. So that's really where it starts. And it allows us to start looking at support for hybrid and multi-cloud type of environments where the data may be distributed. You may have a number of different use cases. It could be accessing data from multiple sources or environments. It could be moving data, replatforming the data, which we're going to look at today, into, maybe from like a SQL Server or Oracle into a Snowflake or Databricks. So that's really what allows us to have that support in addition to the platform being delivered in a cloud native, in a containerized cloud native environment. And what we see this being used for a lot, is we're working through some of these demos and we're building these, big applications and these dashboards, tons of widgets and filters. We're running it off SQL Server, we're running it off Snowflake, Databricks. We're looking at the performance. Obviously, a lot of what we do around data engineering and data integration is to support BI and analytics use cases so that the content runs fast. For people that are doing self-service analytics, the data is intuitive. They've got self-service tools to use it, and more. And so to drill down another level, as we start looking at some of the research, this is kind of, we work with Dresdner Advisory Services a lot. There was a data engineering report. They have their annual Wisdom of the Crowd survey. I read a lot of Gartner research in addition to other sources. And I want to contextualize the bigger picture in terms of what's happening and the trends that we're seeing around modernization of cloud data services. If we look at data engineering, you can see, yes, it's used for BI use cases. It's used primarily for like integration and cleansing and transformation, probably to support dashboards and reporting. Some people are using it for operational systems. The trend that's exciting to us that we hear a lot from our customers is the one that's emerging with an increased usage of data science, augmented analytics, and replatforming of the existing data warehouse. So I think that's really what we're here to zero in on today. And we've been hearing this a lot from our customers. They're like kind of evaluating our solution. Hey, what integrated data science capabilities do you have? We've got natural language query, we can no code train and deploy models and more. And then they're looking at maybe other third-party solutions in this area. They're looking at, hey, what does AWS or Azure offer, and what's the best fit, and what do we use? And I think a big reason a lot of people are looking at replatforming and replication of existing data warehouses is absolutely for that performance question. It's like I was a systems engineer for so long. I'm doing proof of concepts. Anita, you were with me. You're still at it. And it's like performance is so important to the customers, and being able to figure out like, how do we make it fast? What's the bottleneck? Is it the database? Is it the product? I think what our customers have found is that these high performance cloud data sources like Snowflake and Databricks, like deliver incredibly fast performance because they're cloud native. You can just spin up as many resources as you need. So that's a trend that's exciting. As we look at common use cases, this is looking at the bigger picture of data integration. We've kind of talked about data engineering a little bit. We see some of these other top use cases. The one that's getting all the buzz that everyone is asking us about is delivering modern data management architectures as well. So we'll focus in on that today as we drill down another level. Like, what are data engineering use cases anyway? These all look familiar to people, right? Like, what are the top use cases for someone that would use a data migrator? Integration, cleansing, loaded data warehouse, data moving between systems, of course. Ad hoc query, discovery, that self-service analytics story. What's interesting is these two items showing up right here. That replatforming, which you see is gaining a lot of, kind of increasing in usage and popularity, or migration of data to new systems as well. So that may not be replatforming, okay? You just might be migrating that data into a new system for a specific use case or scenario. And then this is like next level drill down. This is taking one of those features and saying, all right, for data processing transformation, what are those critical features? And these are really, think of these as like the features of data migrator, right? Like what the workflow, can we alert? Can we do monitoring? We got to be able to pivot and reshape the data, cut it, merge it. Data quality, ranking, multi-dimensional type of use cases. The one that I highlighted that I think is important, though, is that containerization orchestration. So one of the great things that we did 2-3 years ago was start offering our products up cloud native in a containerized fashion so that you can, one of the great things is if we've got customers on the line of our mainframe solution, or data intelligence solution, or web focus, data migrator is included with every single one of those platforms. So no matter what you're using us for, you get data migrator and all the adapters to do all of these things. What I found interesting about this one, and probably no surprise, this analyzes, and by the way, this is based on like responses from hundreds of organizations that are customers of Dresdner Advisory Services. So where are people moving data from and to? Okay, and so the blue is the source, and you'll notice, yep, relational. Lots of people are moving data out of Oracle and SQL Server. Lots of people are moving data out of files. Lots of people are moving data out of applications. What I find cool about this one is the first category where the source exceeds, where the target exceeds the source are these Snowflake Databricks types of solutions, right? So you can kind of see the trend where people are moving data to. And then you can see absolutely in terms of where they're deploying it, private cloud, public cloud, hybrid. And really what our solution here is, no matter what cloud provider you might be using or capabilities that you're using, um, feel strong that we have one of the strongest data engineering solutions. This was the data engineering report where we ranked second. And go up against a Power BI and a Tableau a lot, really nice solutions. But in regards to data engineering, you're going to find that IBI has a vastly superior solution. Just kind of looking at where they're ranked. So the way that we would work with a Microsoft Data Fabric, we could leverage existing connectors, the SQL endpoint, really organizations that have solutions like a data migrator or other solutions, they've got to evaluate, is this a better solution than what the cloud native vendors are providing? And if it is, it absolutely will increase the value of that type of solution to leverage the existing investment that you already have. It might do something a lot better than like what a data fabric, Microsoft Fabric Data Factory would do as well. And these are some of the things that we hear from our customers that when they're looking at evaluating an Azure Data Factory pipeline, things, limitations around functionality, largely on transformation, see kind of some dependencies some people find like with Databricks. We hear some complaints about security and pricing model and user interfaces because oftentimes a lot of these products kind of get brought into Microsoft Fabric, but they may have had different interfaces or not have the best integration as well. So I think I've gone on long enough. Let's get to, kind of the star of the show, Anita and Dax, and I will hand control over to them.
Thank you, Porter.